into this mix. Mind playing tricks and the meaningful
and today we're going to do a quick update talking to you about the 17th anniversary of 9/11. It's that time again, and unfortunately this year is the second year I have not been able to make it to New York City. I started going to New York in 2010, I believe it was. No, I went to DC in 2010. That was my first time leaving Houston for 9/11 truth activism. And then in the 10th anniversary, I started going to New York City. And I've been to New York City every year for 9/11, except for last year. I was in DC again for some other 9/11 related events. And this year I will unfortunately be on my tour, so I won't be there. By the time you're watching this video, I will be in Florida trying to do some 9/11 truth activism in there. But I'm sure there will be some activism going on in New York City. I'm thankful to all the activists who continue to go out there to ask questions and continue to raise awareness and ask questions around the potential Israeli influence, the Saudi influence, the American government influence, Pakistani influence, and all the different players who were involved in the operation of 9/11, the false flag operation. We know for sure it was a false flag at this point. There's a lot of different things we don't know, but we do know that. Now, what I want to focus on today, instead of doing another documentary about the 9/11 conspiracy theories or the conspiracy research, I just want to talk about the first responders. I recently wrote an article now, about a couple weeks old now, looking at the rates of first responders who are continuing to die. So this article is called Never Forget. Government said the air was safe, and now thousands of 9/11 first responders have cancer. And again, as the Americans are preparing for the 17th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks, nearly 10,000 first responders and New York City residents have reported 9/11 related cancers. And in early August of this year, the New York Post reported on newly released numbers of 9/11 related illnesses, including 9,795 total cases of 9/11 related cancer. The numbers were released by the federally funded World Trade Center Health Program. And the program says that there have been more than 400 documented cases of death from 9/11 related cancers. Those are just cancers. There are other 9/11 related illnesses where people are getting sick in other ways and also dying. But as I said, most of the Americans have forgotten this. You know, we're not going to hear this in the the 17th anniversary edition magazines, or all when the people tell you to go put on your 9/11 pin and never forget 9/11. Are they going to ask? Are they going to talk about these people? Are they going to talk about the first responders that are continuing to die? Are they going to talk about the first responders who got cancer, the first responders who got injuries, or the first responders who saw things, for example, maybe explosions in 9/11, who were ignored? Are they going to talk about that? No, it's just going to be more of this rah, 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 America fake BS that they want you to just blindly trust and salute the flag and pledge allegiance and all these kind of things. Don't question, don't think for yourself, don't challenge authority, just continue to repeat and you will be free. But the truth of the matter is this, that some would say, well, these people chose to go in there and they probably went in there knowing the consequences and now they're sick and it sucks, but that's not the government's fault, right? Well, actually, 1 week after the 9/11 attacks, the Environmental Protection Agency's Administrator Christine Todd Whitman released a statement declaring that the air and the water surrounding Ground Zero was to be safe to breathe and to drink. And she said, given the scope of the tragedy from last week, I'm glad to reassure the people of New York and Washington that the air is safe to breathe and their water is safe to drink. So think about how many people went and started drinking water and drinking, just breathing in this toxic air. Not that many people, you don't really have an option. You're going to leave home? No, but maybe you can at least drink different water. But people thought it was safe to breathe. And, since that time, EMTs, police officers, firefighters, volunteers, all those who remained at Ground Zero were breathing in the dust, which the dust was made up of the human bodies, the building components with who knows what sprayed on it, into their lungs. And, they're dying now. And if you don't remember this, Truth Stream Media reported a couple years ago that back in May 2007, there was actually a congressional investigation which launched looking at the EPA's role in properly responding to the environmental crisis that was created after the 9/11 attacks. And again, former EPA Commissioner Christine Todd Whitman refused to testify. And it was only when she was later threatened under pressure from Congressman Jared Nadler that she went ahead and testified. And of course, she was officially cleared of any wrongdoing and defeated multiple lawsuits. And again, maybe even if the first responders were aware and knew about this stuff, they would have done it anyways. Maybe they still would have gone into Ground Zero regardless, because they were just that brave and bold and wanted to help out. But at least they would have known the fate that they were facing. But unfortunately, this is a case of the government lying again and keeping the people in the dark. So I don't know what to say other than this is the government that you are dealing with. It's time to stop supporting it. It's time, after all these years on 9/11, to question 9/11, to investigate 9/11. That is the proper way and will be forever now until the truth is revealed, even in partial ways, to celebrate 9/11, which is to question it. So my name is Derek Bros, and I'm a truther. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of this day. Remember, you're powerful, you're beautiful, and you're free. Peace.